Scibior here in Syracuse at CNY Central. I'm going to give you a little update on the forecast in case you missed our shows this morning. It just ended at 10 a.m., but I'm going to go over the forecast for you for the next 7 days, especially talking about Halloween this upcoming Thursday. And I'll give you the forecast for Central New York, but for viewers that are outside of Syracuse, I'm still going to be going over the details for the forecast across the entire Northeast, because we are tracking a couple of big weather systems that may break records this upcoming week. Starting with this morning even, it may be a shock to some, as we did see a widespread frost across most of New York State, so there may still be some icy spots this morning. However, temperatures are warming up pretty quickly, so anything that's not in the shade, as the sun is out right now, it should be eating away at that frost. So let's look at what's happening right now and also looking ahead to the next couple of days. I'm going to flip over to our graphics right here. This is a look at the radar, and you can see a couple of showers that are over the Fulton area. I'll zoom in to show you exactly where they are. Let me switch over to this graphic really quick. Zoom into these showers. It is mixing in with a little bit of wet snowflakes up in Osceola, Camden, Florence area, and rain for areas in Richland. It just passed through, but now heading south towards Williamstown, Mexico, Hastings, and eventually into Camden as well. Also a few showers over Oswego. Sprinkle just passed through Caudonay and Constantia as well. For the rest of us, though, quiet weather. Looking at the visible satellite, really not much cloud cover, plenty of sun for Syracuse. Anywhere further south, this is just an area of thin high cloud cover over the western Finger Lakes. But we're expecting to see plenty of sun to start the day, other than these lake effect clouds further north. But there is a weather system that's on the way that may stall over us. A cold front's dropping in, but it really doesn't move all the way through. So this area that I marked here, this low pressure on the other side of the Great Lakes, is going to be sliding eastward along this stationary front, bringing us some extra clouds for central New York. More sunshine, though, the further south you go of the Thruway and down into Pennsylvania as well. But if you live north of Syracuse and heading into Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, those areas, you'll have to deal with this weather system. So that'll bring a few showers, even some accumulating snow as well. I'll actually show you, it's pretty interesting how much snow we could get from now through sunrise tomorrow. A few inches is possible across northern New York, heading into Vermont and New Hampshire as well. This is for the high peaks of the Adirondacks, places over by Walcott in Vermont, Berlin and New Hampshire. Notice a few inches of accumulation is possible, and this is like one of our first few batches of snowfall this season. And it's not just for those areas. Notice a lot of Canada is going to be seeing snow, and this is by sunrise tomorrow. So in just a short time, a few inches. For the rest of us, though, south of the Adirondacks are looking at quieter weather. So looking at our future cast, I'll time out the weather we're expecting to get today in the immediate central New York area. So we did start off with widespread 20s. It's now in the 40s, so it's already jumped up a lot. However, if you're heading out, definitely still feels a bit cool, so you'll want to dress warm. As we go through the morning, by midday, we'll be up to around 50 at lunchtime in Syracuse. Notice the cloud cover is mainly for Syracuse and north, more sunshine further south. And there may be a spotty shower or two north of Syracuse, but most of the wet weather, as I mentioned, is going to be up in this area. Northern Adirondacks, high peaks, maybe even some snow mixing in as well. But most of the snow up there doesn't start to accumulate until the evening hours. Notice as we get closer to 6 and then 9, the snow really developing over this area. The rest of us, partly sunny. Highs will be in the mid-50s, eventually down into the mid-40s by 9 p.m., 40 by midnight, and then another chilly overnight, dropping back into the mid-30s in Syracuse. May dip into the 20s for the higher elevations, which means frost is possible again tomorrow morning. So you may need to be careful, watch out for some icy surfaces, especially in the shade in the morning tomorrow. And you may need to scrape off your car as well. Now let's look ahead to our next weather system. We've got a couple of things going on. I'll actually show you first the weather system set up across the country, just so you get the big picture here. We're cool right now across the Northeast because we still have this somewhat northwesterly flow. High pressure is going to move in. That'll bring us some sunshine tomorrow across the Northeast, and then some warmer temperatures over the next 3 to 4 days. We could see near record warmth in Syracuse. Looking specifically at Syracuse, the numbers, it's likely we could break some records. Today, highs will be in the mid-50s, right around average. Same tomorrow. Tuesday, we climb into the mid-60s, which is about 8 degrees above average. Then notice we're in the upper 70s Wednesday and Thursday. 21 degrees above average Wednesday, 23 above normal Thursday. Just impressive heat. And just to give you some perspective, since we've been keeping records in Syracuse back in 1902, the record high for Wednesday is 79. The record high for Thursday is 75. We're looking to break the record Thursday by quite a few degrees and come close on Wednesday as well. So this warm up that we're about to see is nothing we've ever seen before. Now looking at what comes with the warmth, it's a strong weather system. So yes, it'll bring us those warmer temperatures, but we're also tracking some wet weather. So for today, again, quiet here locally, heading into Monday, we'll have mostly sunny skies. This is just some thin high cloud cover that'll be over us, but still plenty of sun in between. Same for Tuesday, starting off with that hazy sun, but the cloud cover will thicken up as a weather system heads in from the west. This brings a little bit of a warm up, as I showed you, will be in the 60s Tuesday. Notice it'll also bring us some showers into central New York and the northern New York, northern areas by Vermont and New Hampshire for Tuesday evening and overnight. It'll be over Maine Wednesday morning. Now as we look ahead to Wednesday, high pressure starts to sneak in a bit. We'll just have some thin high clouds, so hazy sunshine over us. It looks cloudy, but this is really just some thin high cloud cover. Then as we look ahead to Thursday, once again, we'll be starting off with hazy sunshine, but we've got a stronger weather system on the way. This is what's going to push us into the 70s, as I showed you, to near 80 on Thursday. But it will also bring us a line of rain. Keep in mind, too, Thursday is Halloween. And the evening, also important because that's when trick-or-treaters will be out. So if you're planning on getting out with your kids to do trick-or-treating in the evening hours, make sure you've got an umbrella, rain jacket, on Thursday morning, way over on Thursday morning. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Cooper. If you could comment again what you'd like me to answer. And of course, anyone else watching, if you have any questions, you can comment below and I'll be sure to get back to you. Even when this live is over too, if you have any other questions, you can still comment and I'll get back to you and message you. Back to the forecast for Thursday. We'll be starting off with hazy sunshine. We'll get increasing clouds through the day. Again, this is Halloween. Then Thursday evening for trick-or-treat time. I've paused out the times here. By 3 p.m. will be mostly cloudy. 6 p.m., notice the rain starts to move into western Pennsylvania, over Ohio, western New York, starting to move into the Syracuse and Tug Hill region, and getting close to Vermont. As we go towards 9 p.m., notice it's all over central New York, the Adirondacks moving into Vermont now, and central Pennsylvania, still over parts of eastern Ohio as well, and getting close to entering New Hampshire and Maine. Then overnight, towards midnight, is when it will be sweeping the East Coast. By sunrise Friday, there may still be a few lingering showers in Syracuse, but most of the rain should be along the East Coast. It eventually, though, exits pretty quickly through the day Friday, and sunshine breaks back out by late Friday afternoon as well, and we'll keep the sunshine as we head into Saturday. So if you live in Syracuse or central New York, just quickly going back over your Halloween evening forecast. Daniel Lee, When I left this morning, it wasn't bad despite it being in the 30s in Brooklyn. Depends what your terms of bad are. I think 30 is pretty chilly, at least for myself, and it did cause some frost as well. But I mean, hey, if you are from this area, of course, it has been a lot colder. We've been in the negatives plenty of times. But at least for this time of year, it feels pretty cold, especially considering that we've had a record warm October and a well above average early fall as well. Now, getting back to your Halloween evening forecast, if you live in central New York, central locations by Syracuse, will be in the mid 70s at 5 p.m., 70 degrees by 7 p.m., mid 60s by 9 p.m. So, a rather warm, unseasonable trick or treat forecast. We will, though, have to deal with scattered showers under cloudy skies. So, as I mentioned, you can get away with wearing a costume that's light layers, but you want an umbrella or maybe incorporate some waterproof layers. And then the rest of the forecast after Halloween, just in case you're curious, for central New York, behind that strong weather system that'll bring record warm Thursday and rain, we'll get a big cool down, dropping from 80 down to about 50 by sunrise on Friday. And temperatures really don't budge much after that. Plus, it goes back into the 30s at night, Friday night, and even cooler on Saturday, but at least we get a return to sunshine. One more last thing to note, which you may have forgotten about or haven't heard quite yet, is this upcoming Saturday night. Clocks fall back. Daylight saving time goes into effect Sunday at 2 a.m. So Saturday night, you'll gain an extra hour of sleep, but make sure to set a reminder so that you can set all of your manual clocks back an hour. And that's the latest forecast update. Again, if you have any questions for me, you can always reach out, message me on YouTube, or comment on this video below, and I'll be sure to get back to you about any questions you might have. And this is a forecast for central New York, but of course, I can always give you details about forecasts anywhere else, especially in the Northeast. That's where my expertise is in. So if you live anywhere in the Northeast, reach out to me and I'll be able to address any of your forecast concerns. It was nice chatting with you guys, and have a wonderful rest of your weekend.